Minglaba, I'm your host Shary.
If you have never been to Myanmar, you should watch this video until the end as we will tell you 5 things you may love about Myanmar and 5 things you may hate about Myanmar.
Before we start this video, I would like to shout out to Saya Kim, who is a member of our channel. Thank you so much for supporting us, Saya Kim. We really appreciate it. And if you're interested in becoming a member, please click the join button down below. The first thing you will love about Myanmar is the food. Burmese food is not very famous around the world, but it has many unique dishes such as mohinga, shell noodle, and tulip salad. Myanmar is at a crossroad of many cultures. A lot of our food is influenced from India, China, and Thailand. So you'll find as well as being unique, Burmese food is also very varied. You can find a lot of great restaurants to dine at in Yangon, both very cheap restaurants and more expensive common restaurants. On the other hand, one thing you may hate when you visit Myanmar is the spitting. When you're walking around the downtown area, you will see people spitting in the street, which often leave large big red blots behind. You may not want to see that when you are enjoying the beauty of Yangon's heritage, but however, the reason why Burmese people spit is not because they are rude, but because they chew bitter nuts which build up a lot of saliva in their mouth, so they need to spit regularly, and the red color of the spit also comes from the bitter nuts.
Now I will tell you another thing you may love about Myanmar, which is the people. Burmese people are very friendly towards tourists. Not all Burmese people can speak English, but many of them would love to try practicing their English by talking to the foreigners. Burmese people may come across a bit shy, but will be welcoming and courteous to all the tourists. And you will also not be hassled by the scammers who take advantage of the tourists. Taxis usually charges a fair price, and even though there is poverty here, you will not see many of people begging for money on the street. You may not know that Myanmar is the most charitable nation in the world. Burmese people like to donate money to poor people. Now I'm going to tell you something you may hate about Myanmar, which is the traffic. Especially here in our larger city, Yangon, when you first arrive here, traffic can seem a bit chaotic to you. When crossing the street, you will not have a little red man or a little green man to help you. Instead, you will have to use your own eyes and quick feet to cross the street in between the cars. We do get traffic jams, especially during the rush hour times, and unfortunately, there is no SkyTrain or underground train here yet to move you around the city. And also, tuk-tuk and motorbike taxis are banned here in Yangon, which may disappoint you. But on the other hand, you may want to try our trishaw taxi, which may be a bit slower, but you will get a more relaxing side of the streets of Yangon.
Now I want to tell you about another thing you will probably love about Myanmar, which is our culture. Burmese people are still very traditional. You will see this in the way we dress. Both men and women wear long jeans, which is our traditional style of clothes, and girls wear the niqab on their faces. And the most important part of our culture is our religion. You will see many religious buildings here in Yangon side by side. Christian, Muslims, and Hindu temples are everywhere, but our main religion is Buddhism. You will see many monks and nuns of all ages walking around our street. We also have great Buddhist sites such as Sridong Pagoda, which is a must visit for all tourists who come to Myanmar. Another thing you may hate about staying in Myanmar is the price of accommodation. That is especially true if you plan to stay here for an extended period. And for example, want to rent a condominium. The price to stay in a condominium in the central area of Yangon is still very high. Gradually, the prices are coming down as more and more condominiums are being built. But if you're staying here on a limited budget, you may have to find an older apartment building with less luxury amenities. The same applies to hotels. More and more hotels are being built, but the prices are still a bit higher than in our neighboring countries. Maybe if you're watching this video in 2025, the price for accommodation will be similar to most of other Southeast Asian countries.
Now we move on to another thing that you may love about Myanmar, which is the climate. Myanmar has a less tropical climate, which means you will never feel cold here. You can spend many of the sunny days here at our beaches, not worry about being stuck inside. The best time to visit here to Myanmar is in between the months of November and February. It's at that time the weather is nice and warm, but not too hot or humid. A thing you may hate about Myanmar is also sort of linked to the weather, which is the frequent number of power cuts you will experience. A large part of our electricity supply comes from hydropower, which means when the weather is too hot, more electricity is being used for air conditioning, but simultaneously there is a lack of water, which means less hydropower. So this can cause power cuts. But if you're living in a modern building or a hotel, you will have your electricity within a few minutes by a generator. But if your accommodation does not have a generator, you could be going for hours without the electricity.
Now I want to tell you about the last thing you will love about Myanmar, that is our nature and landscape. Myanmar has a very long coastline which include many unspoiled beaches. Places such as Ngabali is considered as one of the cleanest and the most beautiful beach in the whole of Asia. And if you visit Myanmar, I'm sure you will fall in love with our beaches. We also have other attractions such as Inle Lake, which is a place of scenic beauty, all natural and unspoiled, and also Bagan, which is more of a man-made place of beauty.
Now, I will tell you one last thing you may hate about Myanmar, which is the weather again. That's true, the weather here can be both lovely and something you may hate about. During the rainy season, it really does rain here in Myanmar pretty much every day. Sometimes all day, sometimes just part of the day. But make no mistake, rainy season here in Myanmar is really rainy. So if you come here during the months of July and August, you may experience some wet days.
We hope this video about what you are likely to love and hate about Myanmar has been useful to you. If you want to learn more about Myanmar, you may find this video useful and also this video.